everyone. Welcome to the Colombo JavaScript Meetup 2021 edition, the January edition. So, wish you a happy new year. And yeah, after new year, this is our first meetup.
First
And
meetup
thanks.
2021.
Yeah. And we actually started a new initiative in previous year. We actually asked for speakers. And that one is actually, we got few speaker submissions, and Suresh also applied there, so he's asking for January section, and here we are. And thanks very much. Thank you everybody for applying there. So we are actually getting back to all the suggestions, and we will be having these speakers on this stage. And there's another thing that I need to mention. So we are currently live at StreamYard. So previously we used to done it with Zoom. So this time we moved to StreamYard, and we are streaming simultaneously to Facebook and YouTube. And that's thanks to Pubudu from Leafy Code. And thank you very much, Pubudu, for sponsoring this one with the StreamYard. So because of him, then we are live at code. And so as a reminder about our initiative, so we actually seeking for speakers, and there's a Google form for that one. It will be show up in the below section of this video soon, and it will be updated to the description of the YouTube also. So we are seeking for speakers. You can use this bit.ly/speak at CMBJS or lowercase, and you'll be prompted with our Google form, and yeah, so the stages will be yours too. And we got Sachin Tashehan comment saying, hi, yeah, welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining. So I think it's been 8:32, so I think without further ado, we can actually start the session. Although you could just cut off your face. Cool. So I'm going to introduce Suresh Raj. He's actually from a company called Gapstars, and he's actually working on JavaScript, and he was also very keen about the things under the hood. He's trying to see how these things were working, and yeah, cool. So I'm going to hand over this session to Suresh to continue, and after that we will be going to be back in the Q&A section. And if you have any questions, you can post it in as a comment in Facebook, or you can post it in as a YouTube comment, and it will be the question will be answered in live. Cool. Over to you, Suresh.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm Suresh. Can you all hear me, right?
Yeah, we are hearing you clearly. Yeah, cool.
Cool. And so this is my very first public talk, so I'm very excited. So first of all, I would like to thank CMB Colombo JS Meetup group for accepting the talk. Also, big thanks to my friend Usni for suggesting me to submit the talk. Otherwise, I would have missed this opportunity. So, and can you, am I sharing my screen? Yes, cool. Yeah, today I would like to present my findings on how Node Version Manager, or popularly known as Nvm, works. So let's get started. Yeah, the presentation is publicly available, so you can access it later. So yeah, here I'm again. So who am I? So I'm Suresh, a full stack developer interested in develop tooling space. I work for Gapstars. Also, I'm maintaining a few small open source projects, and here and also I share my findings and learnings in Twitter. So feel free to follow. Yeah. So a couple of notes. This is not actually very common, but basic Node.js and CLI knowledge would make a bit easier to understand the concept, but don't worry too much about it. Also, I'm using the NVM specific version on Ubuntu, and finally, it's not how to use guide for NVM. So I think the internet has a really great resources for that. Yeah. Uh, so the motivation, yeah, it all began with an issue I had with NVM. So actually, I was using few globally installed npm packages for in one of my projects. So and later I started a new project that required a different version of Node.js. So I installed that through NVM and started to work on it. And one day I was trying to use one of my previously installed global package in that version, and I couldn't access it. Actually, Node couldn't resolve it, but I'm pretty sure I installed that package before. So at that time, I didn't care why it couldn't resolve. So I just installed the package again and used it. So life is back to normal. But unfortunately, it didn't last long because I was switching between different version of Node.js through NVM. Actually, I was parallelly working with different project. I was kind of thinking like because it's a global package, right? So I was able to access it from anywhere. So so I thought maybe that's in thought enough is enough. Let's figure this out. So initially I mentioned that the NVM issue, but actually it's my lack of understanding of NVM. So I hope by the end of this session you all can answer why I couldn't access the previous packages, like something that we're going to discuss in this presentation. So yeah. Um, so I assume you all are used or at least heard about NVM and what problem does it solve, because it's such a useful tool in the Node.js world, right? So for those who are not familiar with NVM, or actually I have a slide for you just to make sure we all are on the same page. In a nutshell, NVM is just a command line utility, just like ls command, but technically it's not true. It's not executable, but just think it's a ls kind of thing. But the purpose is to switch between different version of Node.js in a brace, right? So in this image, you can see I'm using the NVM with I'm passing couple of arguments, one used, and the specific Node.js version I want to use it. So you can think it's like kind of a container, and where the NVM accept all these our query and switch between these things. So it's like a very minimal introduction now. Yeah. So uh, cool. Before diving into the NVM step, I have a couple of points to discuss, key points to discuss. The first one is about the path environment variable, so the $path environment variable, and the next one is about the manual Node.js installation, like no more version managers, log package managers, row installation, and stuff. So the first point is the path. So path is a very popular environment variable in OS, in an OS, right? So actually we can use it to tell the OS where to find the executables. So for example, say that if you execute the ls command in the shell, so the OS uses the path environment variable to locate the ls command's executable. So uh, so the important thing to note here is how the OS searches the path. So that's important. So let's take the same the ls command example first. So first, just think. So in the right side, you can see an image. So if you have a fresh Ubuntu installation, by default, you will get these path. So for the readability purpose, I just split into new lines. Otherwise, you would get the concurrent is the long string, right? So for example, let's take if you execute the ls command first, the OS goes to the system binaries directory and try to find the command. If it couldn't, then it moves to the next directory and so on until it finds it. So if it couldn't find, then probably it's like a not, you will get like a command not found or something similar message. So here the important key is the order. So it starts from uh, top to bottom, or we can say like a start to finish in a horizontal way. So the directories at the beginning of the path take precedence over those that comes later. So say that if we have to say that we have a duplicate, we can create a duplicate ls command. We put inside the local sb. Also, the by default, I think the ls command was located inside the bin, or otherwise at system binaries. So if we execute the ls command now, the OS always resolve the first directory one. So the order matter here. So remember that point. So the next key, the next point is the manual Node.js installation. Actually, we can use pre-built installer from the Node.js from the Node.js page. Or the easiest option would be the user Docker image. You can quickly pull an image and for testing purpose. Here, I want to show the installation path and the source code bit. So yeah, I think it's a bit easier if we visualize it. So you can use the which command, which is actually a Linux command. So it actually prints the location of the executable, right? So in this time, I'm using which node. It points me to the user local bin node. Also, you can use the which nvm, because the Node.js by default installs the npm command as well. So npm the binary as well. So you can see it begin with the user local. So if you go to that user local, and if you print it, you will get some similar output. Like if you use the tree command or something, you get a similar output. So it bit easier if you visualize. The right side image is just a visualization. So if you think that it's not 100% accurate image, I mean there are some extra directories that, but I'm not interested in those. So say that here the everything start with the user local, and it has couple of bin and lib directory that we are mostly interested. So the bin directory is where actual node the executable is. So in previous, so that's why if you type which node, it prints user local bin node. So which is actually a combination of user local bin and the node. Also, by default, it has a couple of binaries, one for npm and npx. I think npx comes with the latest version of npm. If you use any specialized Docker image, maybe Alpine based something, so you will get the yarn as well in here. So you can create another round, put a yarn here. So actually the npm is the binary, but the actual implementation is inside the node modules, the lib directory. So the npx also. So this is very similar to how if you install something in your locally, like npm install. So this is very similar to how the global things as well. So the next slide is, I think, uh, actually, where does npm keep these globally installed packages? So when we install like manually, say I think we can use the previous slide for that. Say that you're going to install some new package globally, right? So npm install -g some abc, and so most of the packages in like global packages provide a binary, right? So that's the purpose. So you will get the binary sum here with the name. So it's actually if you create a new node like a global tool or something, the package.json has a property called bin. That's where you can create provide a name for that binary. So it will come here, and also the source code is actually will be in the lib directory inside the node modules. So actually you can actually check the binaries. So I'm going to install a package called Franny. Actually, don't try to install this package, because it is actually one of my colleague name. So I'm going to install Franny globally, and the binary is located inside the user local Franny, and also the actual source code was inside the lib node modules directory. So that's how your the when you install global things are globally like npm packages and works. So yeah, now I think we discussed a couple of points. So the important to remember is the path and where to put. Also the how the OS searches the path, like the order, right? So I think it's time for proper introduction to NVM. So NVM stands for, I think you might know, Node Version Manager. Like as the name suggests, it can download and switch active Node version locally. Uh, note that NVM is actually not executable binary. Previously, I mentioned like think like ls. I said technically it's wrong because of this. Because actually it's not binary. That means you can't use which NVM command to locate the executable path here, right? So, for example, if you type which command now, which NVM, so actually it prints. You can try these commands. I really recommend to like maybe later like, go through the slides and try this command. Like if you try which command, it actually prints the actual function implementation. So this is actually the source of the NVM command. So yeah, so uh, I mentioned actually, I mentioned that NVM is not a executable as well. Well, so what exactly NVM is now? So simply NVM is a shell function which is defined inside the file called nvm-sh. So you can confirm that after if you successfully install the NVM, just type the type command, type NVM. So it actually print about like NVM is a shell function. It's just print kind of a summary about the command. So for the moment I have installed my NVM inside this is the default installation location, which is Om Suresh and the directory. We can actually so we know that nvm is a shell function. So actually we can source the shell function inside the nvm message file. So actually we can source the nvm message file. Then once we source it, the nvm function will become available to the current the shell instance. For example, if you create a terminal or if you create a new terminal tab, each time we have to source it, right? And also, other than the NVM function, the NVM sh, which is actual file name, has several other functions defined in it. So that means we can directly call it if you want, but it's not a practical. So just for example, say that NVM, if you go to the NVM message, so to print the latest version, the API the NVM provide was is um, you can use nvm slash you can pass an argument called version remote. It actually prints the latest available node.js version. So at the moment it was 14. Or you can use just the nvm remote version function manually. You can just type nvm remote version, but it's not practical. You have to like go through the source code and find out okay, these are the functions. But now you know that NVM is kind of a interface to access different functions here. So yeah, some extra information. Yes. So the important thing is what happens during the NVM installation. So now we know a bit about uh, NVM, right? NVM is a shell function and it's defined in NVM sh file, and we need to source it and few steps. Okay, so now we're going to, we know the enough stuff, so let's try it out. So during the NVM installation, so actually you can go to their repository and they have a script to install it. So the steps are: first, nvm clones the nvm repository to the home directory inside the .nvm. Actually, you can customize this path by default. This is the path, right? So the next source is add source line to the correct profile file. So what does profile mean? For example, if you use bash, so it's a bash profile. If you use z shell, so it's going to be a ZSHRC. Likewise, there are different profiles for you. So it's going to add these the following lines in the right side image. I think I'm pretty sure you somewhere you saw some things like this. So actually it exports a directory called some home and nvm. This is the actual installation path. Also, this is the source line. This loads NVM. So it first checks whether is there any NVM file exists. If it is true, then it's source it like dot and NVM directory and sh. So this is this line is important here because of this section. By sourcing the NVM message file only, the NVM function will become available to the current session. So that means before you creating the in a practical, if you open a new terminal tab, that means you need to run this the profile, you need to run the source the command actually uh, every time. So that's why these lines are here. So the next step is downloads in that time. So the third step downloads the latest stable version of the Node.js into NVM version node. So for example, if you first time install the NVM, it actually install the latest version of stable version of the Node.js. That time also switch to that version as well. The key thing is it updates the path environment variable as well. So update the path environment variable. We actually remember we discussed couple of points about first one is path. So here also updates the path. It's actually not a coincidence. So if you go to the if you now try if you print the path now after installing the NVM, you get a new entry. Like you can see previously we had like a first you can actually this is the first one is a new thing which added by the NVM. So actually so these are the previous things you can see. Is actually the prepend the command in the top level. So the order is matter here. That's why I previously mentioned. So if you now type which node, actually you can see it prints Om Suresh NVM version bin node, which is similar to. So that's how OS like searches previously I mentioned searches the executable path. You can see now it searches the it previously it locate the node executable from the user local bin. Now it resolved from the top line, you know. So that's the key. So that's the that's how NVM manages multiple things. By altering the path, it can able to provide like a magically it can able to like switch between different versions of variable, right? So actually we can visualize it to understand it a bit better. So actually we already saw these two images but in separately, but this time is both are combined. So inside the NVM, so we have it as a directory called versions. Inside the version as a node, so that's where it keep all the installed node versions. So inside the each installed versions, the following the trees I think we already discussed. This is exactly the same structure. So that's why I mentioned that install the Node.js without using any version managers like a row, manually install it and investigate about it. So if you so that's how it keeps everything. So if you go to if you want to switch a different version now, you can actually go to the you can ask nvm use and go to the 14. So it has a different set of source, right? Likewise the 8 has a different set of source. So now think, initially I asked a question like say why the motivation in the motivation section I asked why I couldn't access the previously installed one of my globally installed packages. Can you answer it now? Think like say I was inside the version here. I'm going to install a command global package called foo. So okay, now it will install the packages inside the bin directory. That's it, right? Now I'm switched to the different version, say that maybe 14, and now I'm trying to access the previously installed version, which is foo. What do you think? Can I able to access it or not? So probably we can't, right? So because it keep every each like a source in a different directories. So if you install something here, you can't access from the different versions. So that's how it manages global install thing, right? So actually there's a trick to nvm kind of a trick to like install the previously thing. I will I will um, not I will explain that later. Yeah. So where does NVM keep installed? So we already saw if you go to the NVM versions directory and inside the node, it keep. So if you install all the packages like a new, a latest, if you want to install a latest version of node, everything was inside the node directory. So actually you can, if you uninstall something, it removes. So likewise, everything inside the versions. So again, I will recommend to go through these commands and try it if you are using NVM. And yeah, so yeah, and also the final thing, how does it manage globally installed packages? I think we already discussed it, but it's kind of an optional slide. So again, I will go through these commands, but again, recommend if you can, if possible, then go through it. So the binary sensors we found. So say that I'm going to install a new package. Again, it's a Franny. So if I install it, and I'm currently using the version 8.0, and if I install that Franny, and it will actually put the binary inside the bin directory. Also, the source inside the Franny, the inside the node lib folder. Let's switch to another Node.js one through nvm use. If I type which Franny, that means I'm trying to find this command location. Actually, it couldn't find. It's a fake message, but you will get a similar one. Actually, it's from Brazil. So actually, we can't access one version of global package from another version. So what should we do now? Uh, you can actually install the package again. So that's what I did initially in my initially. So, but there's actually NVM way to do this. So one is like migrating global packages while installing. Say that you want to switch to different version. So say that you are using a version 8 and you want to, and 8 as a you have like a really set of global packages, kind of a utility packages like NodeMon and ESLint and stuff, and you want to access it from the new Node version as well, right? So actually, so you can use nvm install command to install that version. And the same time, you can pass an extra argument saying that you can ask like a nvm while installing, make sure to install all the global install packages from the previous version as well. So you are like implicitly asking like do this. So nvm actually go through and figure out all the previously global thing and reinstall it. That means it's your global package is always with you. This is like a uh, it's a good like an easiest option. Oh, actually also nvm provide one more option. Actually, you can keep a list of like a track of default packages you want to install. So say that you want to you have like a set of default packages you all want to use. So actually these are some of my open source work. So Jenny pretty. So I always use this in globally. So I have like a nvm default packages folder. You can keep these like a text file. So then if you switch to nvm like a new version, you will always get these packages. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So to summarize this, I think the key point is the NVM uses the path environment variable to it alters the path environment variable to provide like switching between different versions thing. So that's how it manages actually through the path. So it's a really nice idea, right? So the path. And yeah, so finally I have got few references, so you can go through it. And yeah, so I'm also expect that now you have like enough idea about how like NVM works. Also I think if you're really interested to learn more, I think it's a great time to to view the source code. I think it's public. It's a open source project. So go to the GitHub and NVM. I think you have like enough idea to get start. So you can. It's actually a shell script. So and it's a really large file. So but you can go through and understand how it works. So and also some extra tricks you can learn from the source. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I hope you understand something and learn some new stuff. So thank you. And yeah, and cool. And yeah, if you have any questions, I think it's time to ask. And also, if you have any feedback, please. This is my first public talk, so I can actually improve my presentation skills. So please provide. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. It was really done very well, Suresh, and the content is very good. And yeah, you done it superbly. So it's from my feedback.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I think people do you in mute.
Sorry about that. I think it went really well. A very informative speak. So I think everyone learned a lot from that.
Yeah, the content was very uh, structured, and it was like going like with a very good flow. Okay. So we are actually first uh, waiting for the question related to the questions which can translate to the working on. And yeah, a little bit of stupid question from me, Suresh. And yeah, it's not a direct question, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Sure.
start the questions going on. So, why you use Nvm? Let's start like that.
Uh, it's because it's a brace like there are actually I didn't find in that time I didn't find any tool to manage because actually I was actually I'm building working with several different node project which require different versions. So most of because I also it's easier to use like actually the nvm provide file you can use a file called .nvmrc in your repo to pin down the specific Node.js version, and it actually helps your collaborator. Like you can easily switch to that version. With you can if a repository has a nvm.rc file, actually you can use nvm use command. It will automatically pick up that specific version. If it couldn't and it tells the version is not installed, please use it. And also some third-party services like Travis CI users to check the specific version. Uh, so yeah, so it has really lot of benefits. Yeah,
Yeah, that was actually the thing that I want to get that NVMRC file. So yeah, then it kind of easy if you are managing a few people team and you need to have a whole team in same node version.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the key thing.
Yeah,
And also a lot of tools now adapt to use to pick up that read that file in VMRC and yeah.
cool. Is there any questions that related to the session currently? Not yet.
Yeah, I think nothing related to the session.
Yeah, let's keep the questions open. You can ask questions related to the session or not. So let's start from few questions. Shall we?
Yeah, sure. Mm,
Let's get from the top to bottom. Then it will be easy.
yeah, there's a lot of thanks for Suresh. And
Yeah.
there are some questions about how to improve our skills. I think as a developer, how to improve our skills and keep
Yeah.
learning.
The question is actually related to thinking skills. Can you highlight it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, are you going to start?
Yeah, I will give you first round, then you and Suresh can join.
Oh.
Okay, the question is how we improve our thinking skills, right? Can you ping it? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. It's from Hasida Pereira.
Yeah, so the thinking is, I think you are talking about that getting the logics and things going around. So only way to improve the thinking skill actually is do more work, and it will kind of uh, getting you there. So what I suggest is go like HackerRank, or there's the one called Lead Code. So these places have questions with some scenarios, and you need to build a kind of a solution or algorithm for that one. So when you start from small, like get from a beginner level algorithm things and try to solve it, and bit by bit, I think you will get your thinking skills going around. What do you think, Google?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I can add to it so that thinking skills means now when you think about programming, it's always solving problems. So always think outside the box and think. Let's say once you solved a problem, but next time when you see the same problem, think whether you solved it better before or can you solve it now, even you have a better solution. So that means when you come from the first issue to the second one, then I think uh, you are forced to learn. You are forced to learn, improve your skills, and then with your new skills you need to start to think better, think in a different way with your knowledge. So first thing is always be curious, see what's happening now. When you take this talk, Suresh have been using NVM. I think everyone, we have, all most of us are using NVM. But Suresh wanted to see what's going behind the scenes. So that's the greatest thing. So if you want to improve your skills, see behind the scenes what's happening, get that idea. Then with that, you can take the whole understanding of the bigger picture, and then improve your skills.
And I think Dular also added a code signal is also a good solution.
Ah,
You can
yes.
highlight. And Suresh, and what do you think about the question? Do you have anything to add up?
Yeah, actually, thanks for question, by the way, first of all. So, uh, yeah, actually, I posted something related that in very long time ago, around 2017. Uh, the brain improves the more we challenge it. So when we learn something new, we we expand the complexity of our brains. We literally increase our brain power. That means uh, you don't have to be like a uh, code ninja or like a super genius guy. Just start with small thing, like trying to solve that thing and work on it, like your skills. Like always, like try to find a problem and solve it. You don't have to go to the art problem at all. Start with a very simple thing, and because 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 I to be honest, I didn't follow any. Maybe I think I'm kind of not good in mathematics. Maybe like I didn't did my A levels in like not in max stream or anything else. But really, I learned a lot. I was able to increase my problem solving through actually through the challenges and stuff and the real world work as well. So yeah, the EcoRank and other the platforms provides really good uh, how to say provides examples and practices, but you need to build something to learn something new. So yeah, so my advice is to like always try to find a problem and always try to solve it. And if you get stuck, please ask someone. Don't stuck around on this. No. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, then good luck.
I think
Cool.
Dulara has made a nice comment in here. Yeah, he's saying first solve the problem your way, then you can see how others have solved the same problem. You will find thousands of ways to solve one problem. But yes, he's correct. There's thousands of ways to solve one problem, but there's only few ways to solve it correctly. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stack Overflow will be a good place to see how the other people solve the same problem and make sure that you are copying from the answers, not from the question. Thank you.
And also start reading the other people's source code. That's a one my go-to way to learn. Like that's why GitHub is famous, right? Just go to find a project and just read other how other people are sold through the. I think more than better. I think Stack Overflow. Like you can go through source code and like actually test it. So try to read the other people code and check how they handled it, or how they approach the problem. So yeah.
There's another one. Can you create a complicated app using JavaScript? So I'm not sure about this question is related to front end or back end. In general, I give one example that I get one into my mind. Let's say that, yeah, I think you all know VS Code. So it is written in complete JavaScript. So it's kind of a complicated thing to write an IDE. That's right. Yeah, it's kind of a way to write JavaScript from JavaScript.
Yeah, it's an
So there are many.
it's an IDE labeled as an editor. I think.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, started as an editor and became an IDE.
Yeah. So actually, I think there's plenty of complex applications built in JavaScript.
There are many front-end applications, especially from JavaScript, like Gmail and stuff running from and Google Cloud Platforms. The dashboard is completely running on Angular, I think. I'm not sure, but it's something from JavaScript. Yeah. So mental health, there's a question, how do you build a mental health? I think it's pro. I will go with Kubut first.
Why is that?
You started a new habit recently, so yeah.
Yeah, actually, not a new habit. Actually, mental health. To maintain the mental health, I think the best way is to not to reduce stress. It won't be easy to reduce the stress. It will be easy to handle it better. First, see how you can handle your stress better. Then another key point is keep your physical health. Keep your physical health in a good condition. Otherwise, if you are physically down, then your mental health will also go down. And also, when it comes to mental health, there are many ways that people are trying to find relief to mental issues. Don't go to any extreme stuff like that. I mean, I think. Can I mention some of those stuff, Chabal?
No.
No, not at the moment. Actually, one of the best things I can recommend is going to something like meditation.
Yeah,
If you
and get some breaks.
Exactly, because
What do you think about Suresh? Suresh is actually working for a company currently, I think in European region, and he's working for as a remote. So how you handle the time zone and all these stresses?
Actually, I mean, actually work through guest a year in Sri Lanka, so it's a usual time, like 8 to 5, like that's a usual time for us. So uh, actually, I need an answer for this question. Actually, I'm also audience here. So yeah, because I also like actually the remote work helped me to like more focus on the building stuff, like because there's no commute. So also I have a lot of time to like focus on like a I was able to use my time in in a good way. Previously, it was everything inside the bus or somewhere. So yeah, so actually, I don't have any points, but I need your points for this thing. So like,
Yeah, of course. So the other thing is, it's from I think Clean Code or something. So first you need to identify your capacity. So you're asking related to intern also. Intern is not much of work capacity, so the companies doesn't going to expect things that you're doing in the capacity of a software engineer or something. So you will be kind of a training thing. So first you need to identify your strength and what kind of a capacity that you can do, and learn to say no. That's the thing. Don't say yes to everything and put more stress on you. Just identify what you can do, and if you can do it on that time period or deadline, then say accept it. Otherwise, don't say, yeah, I will do it, or I will try to do it. I will try to do is not an kind of a way of saying no.
Yeah, excellent. Chatur, you are highlighting the clean code, right?
Yeah, clean code. Yeah.
Remember the 3 a.m. code? The code
No,
he had written at about 3 a.m.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Don't do complete night outs
Yeah,
to cover your deadlines. It is okay for once a month or something, but don't make it kind of a regular thing. So
because
other question is, what OS is more suitable for the developing? We start with Suresh. So yeah, Suresh is kind of
uh,
working right from Linux side. It's
yeah,
perfect.
what was the question?
Can you highlight it?
I'm I'm
What
trying
is the
to
OS most suitable for developing?
I'm trying to
Huh,
got it.
okay, yeah. Uh, so at the moment, actually, I have been using maybe Linux, mostly the Ubuntu distro for past maybe 3 years now. So yeah, so I think yes, actually I haven't been used any Windows in the 3 years actually. So previously I got a Mac. So actually my uh, dream computer actually laptop. So then switched to OS again. So developer specifically, I think uh, I'm really in like a kind of how to say terminal kind of person. Really, you need to do a lot of things in terminal. So that is uh, one of the reason I chose the Linux. And also, yeah, the UI you can't compare with other two major competitors, but they are really improving it. Like the each new edition they adding few more stuff, and so they are polishing it bit by bit. So that's good. Uh, yeah. So and also yeah, and also managing the servers. I think Linux is the key. So so yeah, that's why I stick to that thing. So for me, it's working fine. For yeah, I think it's your preferred I think choice. Like you don't have to like stick to one. Like if you find something new, like um, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, I will add up. Yeah, I'm a kind of a bias here, but yeah, I'm using macOS platform for about 5 years, but time to time I used Windows. So yeah, Windows is actually improved really a lot. Make sure that if you're choosing an Windows OS to development, that's really cool. But you can actually use Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL2, and you can install Ubuntu kernel there, and you can actually have all the bash commands and all the stuff, old stuff coming from Linux. Use it inside the Windows rather than having a dual boot setup, and it is actually improving. And Microsoft has done really good job and things to getting the developers into the platform. Yeah, and the only thing that matters is actually when it comes things related what are you going to do with. So if you're going to do Mac or Apple related development, you don't have any choices. You need to select the Apple things to do that one, even OS and all stuff. It's kind of locked. So if you are going to do a kind of a mobile development related to Android, yeah, that's cool. Then it still support from all these three OSs. So it's totally fine. And if you're going to do a web development, yeah, still all three OSs are completely okay. So there was a kind of a things that had at that time that is Mac exclusively, like we had a UX and related UI development tool called, what is that one?
Sketch, I
Sketch.
think.
So yeah, so Sketch was Mac exclusive one. So many people from UX world had to buy Macs for their UX developers and UI developers, designers to have this one. But now the Figma is there and Adobe XD also there. So there are a lot of options you can choose rather than using exclusivity. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
actually,
about C# and .NET future value, yeah. Yeah, we are kind of a bias in here. We are doing Colombo JavaScript meetup.
Don't ask that question. I have no idea. I don't.
So there's a name that you ask for suggestions, and somebody says that if you're developing desktop application, you can use JavaScript, and if you're developing a mobile application, you can use JavaScript, and if you're developing a web
yeah.
application, you can use JavaScript. So yeah, you get the picture. So
Like
but the
that,
thing is, Microsoft has open source .NET. So .NET Core is open source, and it is actually running really well. And like game engines like Unity using C#. So C# is going to be there quite a while. And there's, I think, ASP.NET Core or something that is also open source. So when it comes to full stack, I saw a few stuff that running with .NET Stack also. So yeah, this is going to be stick for a long time.
Also, Microsoft slowly converting us to use TypeScript, so it's going to be a slowly C# way, I guess. So
Yeah.
because I think it's really, I don't everyone using TypeScript, right? Because
Yeah.
it's really great thing. So
So most
yeah.
of the C# flavors actually pushing from
Yeah,
Microsoft to TypeScript. So we are getting the code. So if you're a good TypeScript developer, you will be a good person to switch to C# also. Yeah, why not?
from C sharp, like that.
yeah, from C#
Yeah, if you're
you
from
can
C#,
easily
you
switch to
can easily.
TypeScript.
Yeah, that's the Microsoft plan to get the C#
Yeah.
developers to the JavaScript world.
I think right now there are a lot of Microsoft applications running completely on JavaScript. I think they have ported the whole Office system also to JavaScript now, online JavaScript and React.
I saw that Skype is running also to it. That's it. I think they are trying to get it into Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Skype is
Okay, I think
Electron, right?
I didn't get you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Skype is written Electron, right? I think it's Electron app, if I'm correct, but I'm
I
not sure.
think. Yes.
Yeah, it was previously not on Electron. I think after Microsoft acquisition, they actually switched to the Electron or something. That's how I think they get it to the Linux.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even it's running Electron, I think in Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they stopped the Atom, and I think I think GitHub is previously maintained the Electron. I think because
Yeah.
after the Microsoft acquired, I think they put a lot of effort to improve that test because
Yeah,
VS Code
it
also
was
Electron,
Atom
right?
Core. Yeah, it was Atom Core, then renamed to the Electron.
And yes. Cool.
And yeah, I think we covered all the questions also.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think we need to highlight Lasanta's comment. We can, yeah, Suresh, we can follow him in m-sureshraj in GitHub.
Thank you, Lasanta. Actually, it's my friend.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, cool. And yeah, we are hitting the 1 hour mark, and yeah, cool. So
Yeah.
so
yeah.
let's wrap it for a little bit. Yeah. So I want to first thank Suresh. Suresh actually done really much effort. He actually changed the place to do this online session because he told that there's a kind of a noises coming on his place that he used to stay, and he actually moved to another place to do this session. Yeah, and thank you very much for that sacrifices and making this happen like this one. And thank you very much for that. The content and the time and effort that you put towards the community is really great, and we are really grateful for you having this session in here. And yeah, as a feedback point, you've done it really well. And I want to thank Pubudu, who's running the everything, like even designing these flyers and running the whole StreamYard studio and doing all the marketing things. And yeah, we got actually streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And thank you very much for all the attendees who was asking the questions and who was viewing the session and who was going to view the session after this live session. You're going to rewatch it again. And thank you very much. And till the next session.
Yeah, till the next session.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks from
Sorry.
everyone to Katu for organizing this and doing a great job.
And yeah, we are actually getting more speakers. So yeah, shall we show the link again? So if you want to speak in future JavaScript meetup, you are welcome. Just send, just fill the form in bit.ly/CMBJS or lowercase. Cool. See you in next meetup.
Yes, guys. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for your time and accepting the talk. So also, yeah. So it's my first public talk, so it's a great opportunity for me. So thank you very much. Yeah. So see you soon. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We are actually excited to have you in more sessions too. Come back with another session too.
Another topic.
We're happy to welcome you back.
We'll try. Sure.
Okay.
Cool,
Till then,
guys.
have a good time and more JavaScript.
Cool.
Yeah, till next time. Okay.
Okay. So see you. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Okay. Have a nice day to you all.
Okay. Bye.